We're good. We're live. So, episode 5 of the Wavelength podcast. We just had a weekend of Call of Duty grind, so that's what the subjects are going to be hovering around. Um, yeah, man, we're
Great
ready to
time,
rock. So,
I think my
Welcome,
opinion.
welcome, welcome. Per usual, I'm Kuchorz. This is Adam, Verdict. And then we've got a special guest with us tonight who's not necessarily a guest. You're going to be seeing him around a shit ton because he's actually part of the Wavelength squad crew. He was the first one to join after Adam and I started it. So this is Brendan or Brendzy, as you'll see
How's it
in
going,
game.
guys? Yes,
So,
sir. How's
hell
it going,
yeah.
guys?
What's up? What's up? So, Brendan, if you don't mind, just for anybody watching, just tell them a little bit about your background with gaming and stuff, just to let them know who you are and just essentially how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, for sure, man. So basically, I started gaming when I was really young because of my brother. And that's actually how I met Mitch. And so basically, I got into, if you guys remember, all the way back in the day, the old school Star Wars Battlefront games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Those were the first shooters that I got into. So it started from there, man. And then
And
the
now
first
you're
COD
here.
I got, the first COD I got was Black Ops 1, actually. So everyone
That's-
always talks about the debate of MW2, or whatever.
Hey,
But,
man, Black Ops 1's up there for me. People like to complain about that game, but I think it was awesome.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
like Black Ops 1 a lot, for sure. It was, I don't know, a lot of people think it was like too arcadey and stuff. It was like, I think it was the first Call of Duty that was really arcadey to begin with.
Yeah.
Like after they stopped going for as much realism, like they had the emblem creator and they had like the hearts you could put as the reticles and shit like
Right,
that
right.
in Black Ops
Yeah.
1. That's where they started to kind of Treyarch started to do that stuff.
I will
For
say
sure.
though, I feel like you can tell Call of Duty players that started on those games, because like I would almost say you're like almost more of a pub stomper than you are a comp player right now, almost because like I don't know, just like the way you play and stuff. And Black Ops 1 was like the peak of pub stomping, like you're just dropping 100 bombs all the time and stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Oh, dude, that's why I like the AUG so much. That was actually the gun that I dropped my first 100 bomb with. I
Hell
remember
yeah,
that.
dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
But
Good
Mine
times.
was definitely the FAMAS. The
Dude.
Black Ops 1 FAMAS to this day is still my hands
it's
down
so
favorite Call of
good.
Duty
And the
guns.
Galil, dude, and the
Oh,
74U.
everybody- Yeah, everybody talks about like Modern Warfare 2 guns or just any other COD. I'm always like Black Ops 1 FAMAS. That thing is just insane.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. Like
Yeah.
you could just, it had the fastest fire rate of it, like pretty much all the guns in the game.
And it
had
was a beam.
crazy accuracy. did
And the
so much
iron sights
damage.
were sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's the
But-
thing,
Just
though.
put that with dual mags on. Good to go.
The thing, of iron sights over the years, dude, they just got horrible. They just
Yeah.
got real bad.
They really
I
did.
think they got better.
You
I
think
don't
so?
know.
I think
Yeah. Like
Really?
maybe it's because this is a weird phenomenon with me. Like I got way better at gaming like at the age of 16 because like I used to not wear glasses and I've always needed them.
Mhm.
And I just like thought I was too cool to wear glasses. So I just like I finally put glasses on one day and like that day, literally I just fucking just destroyed kids. It was Gears 3 and I like it made a world of difference. And I was just like, what the hell? So I was like, all right, I'm wearing these every time from now on. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
so
anyways,
you started with Black Ops 1, Battlefront. How long have you been? I don't know, like what's your favorite games, I guess, that aren't COD? If we could just talk about that real quick.
Oh, dude, come on, bro. You know what I'm gonna say.
Are there any games besides COD? I didn't realize that.
Oh, bro, Borderlands, dude.
Okay.
Borderlands.
Okay.
Oh, dude,
It's your lucky day then.
Oh, I know,
Sweet.
bro.
Yeah.
This time of year, bro, right now is just A1 for me. It is
Yeah.
just couldn't get much better. Oh my bad, I forgot to put mute on my phone.
It's a really good problem when you have too many games to play, for sure.
Oh, I know, dude. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like scared almost because like I just don't want to get too deep into Borderlands and then just get distracted from Call of Duty and what we got going on with this. So
Yeah, but
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not too worried
it's
about it.
about a month and a half, month away
Yeah.
until,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's a lot. That's a pretty
I'm
good
already
amount of
like-
time to just sink into it.
And
dude,
Borderlands-
I'm already, like,
Borderlands is one of those
I'm
games
sure.
too that like, once you drop 40 hours into it, it's kind of like you're probably gonna step away from it for a little bit and then come back,
Mhm.
So
Exactly. Yep.
yeah.
And even if we're in the COD season stuff, you can hop on Borderlands like for a couple
yeah.
hours and farm shit.
Exactly.
It's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
ruin anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not worried about it.
It's
But
not
yeah,
like
besides-
you're not allowed to do anything else. I mean, obviously it should be the
Exactly.
priority, but it's not like, what? You're playing Borderlands, you slacker?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too worried about it. But besides that, man, no, I don't really play anything else besides COD. But let's bring it back to the present though. What do you guys
Yeah.
think about the
So
beta and
yeah,
stuff?
definitely
yeah,
as
bro.
mentioned, like with Brendan was the first member of the team we picked up, and we played with him during the beta. We also had Aruzia down, which is his name's Luke. We had him
Sir.
down. So we had 4 of us down at the apartment this weekend, just grinding, just landing My Warfare beta that was out. It was PS4 exclusive. We got some clips. We're gonna probably do more next weekend. We were kind of just having a good time this weekend, just enjoying each other's company, enjoying the concert we went to and stuff.
Yeah, first time we really all have been together, to be honest.
Yeah,
so it's
the
kind
4
of
of
just
us.
like
Since
get to meet
we
everybody.
made since we formed the 4 of us as a team, we're still getting a 5th, but like that's the first time. We've definitely all been together in person. So it was really just cool to build the chemistry over the weekend more than it's already there, because it's already kind of clicking pretty naturally, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we won't go too far into it, but the core 4 is looking pretty all right. I will say. I will say. But
so as far we've talked a little bit about this on the side too, but what's your guys' favorite guns and like what's the reasons for it? And so let's go into that. Like,
let's just go down the line.
Don't pick like your top 3. Like, what's your hands down favorite gun if you had to pick one?
I guess I'll start off. My favorite gun, hand down, would have to be the MP5. Like, I want to say the M13, because like if like long range gunfights, it definitely felt the best, I guess. But there were times, honestly, like even with the MP5, my setup was right, that like I can still outgun people with like M4s and stuff at decent range, and the gun's damage just felt unbeatable close range. Like it kind of just felt like if I come around the corner, unless he has an MP5, I'm winning the fight, and I'm usually gonna win it anyways. So that's definitely how it felt.
10mm attachment on it. Like I ran that a bit on the MP5, and the damage just skyrockets.
My big thing though is if I can't get extended mags with 10mm, I'll never run it, because I honestly felt like well, maybe not in competitive, but in pubs, the 30 bullets was low. The 30 bullets was really low.
Especially when there's 6 people versus 5. That one extra person can make a world of difference as far as mag size.
Well, and honestly, you're not. How often are you mowing down 4 guys in a row in a comp game?
Very rarely. And I actually was playing pubs with it pretty different too. So to the point where like 10mm worked for me is like I would get a double kill with it, because that's like a lot of what you can do with getting triple kills. You'd have to hit most of your shots, even with 10mm, 30 shots in it. So like I would get those 2 kills, I'd get double kill, and then I'd just corner real quick, reload, then peek out, and then just finish whoever. Like usually if you're getting, if I was getting those 2 kills. But yeah, I definitely think extended mags is subjectively better for sure than 10mm. But
and another thing, just real quick on the MP5 that I liked is there's a silencer attachment that actually increases the range. And so it was
interesting,
so it's silencer increases the range, but then it has like a dock on your ADS speed, which wasn't too crazy. So it's like, personally in the game, I don't think the silencers mean a lot for like minimap and stuff, because you don't even show up. But honestly, bro, guns are loud. Like if someone's gunning you from across the map, like it sounds like they're on you. You know what I mean? So the silencer, I found people like I'd mow down 2 of their teammates, and the third guy is kind of like maybe a little far away, but completely unaware I was even there. So
something I feel with the MP5, like maybe it's just a placebo, but I felt like that gun was like mobility wise faster than anything in the game, even faster than other SMGs. Like and I feel like it's a placebo, because I think SMGs have a set SMG speed that you move with them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But like the MP5 just felt so fast. Like I felt like I could jump corners, I could like strafe and just do anything with the MP5 that I couldn't as easily with other guns.
Especially like compared to like the AUG and stuff like that, you just felt so much quicker. Just sprinting in general, like you just felt like you just moved faster. It was a nice pace to have, like compared to like the assault rifles, which feel a little bit heavier. But then you can tell to like the assault rifle to the LMG or the sniper, where those just feel massive.
I mean, it could. You also, I did hear talks about the beta having some slight bugs where like certain attachments were actually supposed to slow you down, but it actually sped you up and shit like that. So it's definitely possible that there were times that we're like feeling hella fast and it's actually a bug. Probably not the case in most instances.
I think the MP5 felt fast, man. Like
it felt hella fast. I think I will say though too, I was using extreme conditioning.
Super sprinting corners and jumping off the corner to shoot somebody felt great,
because you're out of sprint time when you have that pistol grip is nasty. Like you can literally just jump corners, and even if you're in a dead sprint, you're in pretty good shape.
And the reason I really respect the MP5 pick, and I would have picked it second compared, is just because like so my first pick, so the segue into that, is the M13. But the reason I was like it's really difficult for me is because MP5, like you said, is hands down better at close range, and it's almost as good at like those medium
but
ranges.
just not quite.
Obviously, the long ranges, you're not going to ever run into that in competitive. Typically, like those are like more for the 10v10, 32 maps.
Right.
Where the M13 will obviously do better, but like in the maps where it matters, like I think the MP5 universally, at least in I had Adam drop. Are you back?
I'm back. Sorry, guys. Little tech issue there. We're here. We're ready to rock.
Your mic switched to your
Yeah.
webcam, I think.
It shouldn't have. Here, let me do this.
Epic.
We should
No,
be good
I
now.
got it. Mine was M13, and it was
Yeah,
just because it's so good all around. It really reminded me a lot of like the Maddox just from Black Ops 4. Like I felt like short range, it was still like extremely fast fire rate for an AR, but the damage held up, and then like the damage drop off also held up over like ranges as well. The way you can build that gun is crazy too. Like you can really build it to post up and just be a beast at long ranges. Or towards the end of the beta, me and Adam were even talking about a build where you ran an iron sight and certain attachments made you stray faster while ADSing to the point where it almost felt like a direct competitor to the MP5. You're getting that faster strafe time, the extremely fast ADS with iron sights, and it felt really good. So, but yeah, what was your pick, Brennan?
I'm gonna say the MP5 though, because just purely based off of my play style, not because I thought the M13 was great, dude. It was a laser. It felt like, honestly, dude, like a baby ICR in a way.
Yeah,
Like it just
that's the thing. ICR's in the game too.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's
Apparently, yeah.
different, but it's like the kilo or something is the ACR.
Yeah, but like I mean, I don't know, man. It's just the MP5 was just more geared towards my play style. As you guys know, I love to just sprint everywhere. My score per minute is always just insanely high.
Yeah.
So like, just because I just love to run straight into the action. So
with that being said, did you see yourself hitting like a couple your play style in this game, or was it already kind of set in, like, or is that already going back set in stone because of the 2v2 alpha? Because I know with me, like, yeah, the dynamic was way different in this beta because I'm playing 6v6 public matches, but like that 2v2 alpha really already kind of set in stone how I should be playing this game, and I already went into these public matches really knowing how I should be moving, and you know what I mean. Like obviously I had to learn the maps, but I already knew I shouldn't be just like jump crouch sliding into people and just trying to outgun them, you know. So did you feel yourself running into a little wall and having to change play styles at all?
Yeah, actually. Well, I mean, I kind of knew off the get-go that everyone kind of knows that they have to change their play style, especially when they come out with a brand new way that Call of Duty is supposed to feel. So, I mean, it was definitely like I knew it was coming, so I kind of went in ready to change, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I definitely like started changing right away because I knew that like based off of like the first couple games I played in Gunfight, you can tell that it wasn't the Call of Duty where you can just slide through corners like Black Ops 4. Like it was so dumb.
I feel like I probably play a similar style to Brendan, just a little bit slower. And I think like personally, I think games like Black Ops 4, I'm actually surprised you did as well. Well, I guess I'm surprised you did as well in Black Ops 4 you did. Like, I think it's a testament to how nasty you were at that game, playing that fast, because there are times where, like, if you round the corner, like, we talked about this, like, if you round the corner and do a squad on Modern Warfare, you can kill them. You round the corner in Black Ops 4, you're gonna get fried, you know? So, like, I think the time to kill in Black Ops 4 maybe give you a little more leeway to play super aggressive, but I think this game will give you even more leeway once you know the maps really well. Because, like, if you're playing a sub and you're just busting ass, and there's constantly buildings and alleys and, like, things to traverse or things to loop on kids with, like that just lets submachine gun players have so much variety. Whereas like in Black Ops 4, it's like, well, I have a SOG, I'm either going middle, right, or left, and I've got to dodge an ICR that's going to be posted up every time, you know, like so I felt like in this game at least, like there's enough uniqueness to rush patterns and like things you can dodge in and out of. Obviously, like I felt myself getting better at it over the weekend, but like once you have the maps down and like every little nook and cranny, I think that's when like submachine gun players will shine. And so I'm excited for like us to get in there and like actually have the maps down and see how well we do. Because I think like personally, bro, like, and I think you were the same way, and I think so was Mitch, but like the games where I really shined in were map setups like Modern Warfare. Like I have not shined real. I mean, I haven't really played a lot of the last like 3 or 4 CODs. Like this is definitely the big ramp up COD for us. But like the arena style maps are not my thing, and so I think like especially mostly because I like to rush and play subs, and like when I don't have all these like intricate little angles I can take, I feel like I'm just sometimes just running into people and shit. So it definitely felt refreshing because you have alternate play styles instead of like I feel like you can rush in 90% of the time in this game because you have ways to dodge those lines
Yeah,
of sight.
and it's a different, when you say rush too, it's a totally different kind of rushing than what we would say if you were rushing in Black Ops 4.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Black
like, in
Ops
this
4 is
game, you
literally
have,
like sprint,
yeah,
you
like,
know?
so you've
Like,
got to
yeah.
rush smart in this game. That's the biggest difference, and that's why I think there's like a big argument a lot and like all over the internet, like, oh, if you rush in Call of Duty games, you're just mad because in Modern Warfare you can't rush, so you're a brain dead player. Like, if you're rushing, it doesn't mean you're a brain dead player. Obviously, you have to play more strategic, but like in Modern Warfare, like rushing is like picking the correct routes that you have to zig and zag through. Maybe do a jump up some scaffolding through a window, which, like you were saying, you can't do that in a 3-lane map because like it's a 1/3 chance that you're
Yeah.
going to run into players. You've got 3 lanes. I mean, so in
Yeah.
this game, with it being so intricate, some of them are kind of 3-lane designs, but they've got like multiples on top of that. So like the outer lanes, the outer sides will have 2 buildings each side. So like it divides and branches and forks off into multiple different choices rather than just 3 choices you can make off spawn. So like you make the choice to go left. I'm going to go left lane, but now I can choose to go to this left building or maybe this right tower. You know, so like those, I think that's what they did with this game a lot too. Is they kind of they definitely shied away from a 3-lane design a little bit, but they still went with it, and I think they just made more decisions in each lane that really like kind of separates it and segments it.
Yeah.
That's actually a perfect like segue into this. It says that Call of Duty Modern Warfare has chops to be a tactical shooter after all, and that it basically is saying that it was super smooth and that it required you to basically just be insanely smart and have to outplay the other players, but that there might be actually too many lanes to be able to watch in a competitive aspect. And I thought that was an interesting thing to bring up.
I just feel, I don't know. I feel like the take on that is like, okay, I was talking to Mitch about this a little before we started the podcast. Like, I've seen some people talk about this, and I'm pretty confident in this theory that, like, a lot of these new age, like, honestly, a lot of people that grew up playing COD a little after you did, Brendan, I think a lot of these players that started in late Black Ops and stuff, like, say, Black Ops 3 onwards or, like, Advanced Warfare and stuff like that, they're just going to struggle with this game. And, like, the reason why is because, like, if you didn't play Black Ops 1 backwards, like you've never played map design like this. Like there's literally, like, everybody complains about it, but yeah, there's a shitload of angles that you can get shot from. And like right now the spawns are really bad, so it seemed even worse. But I think once they get the spawns figured out and stuff, like you're still gonna get fried in the back. Like you can't sit there and challenge an angle in a gunfight for like 30 seconds like you can in Black Ops 4. Like if you sit there, someone will come and fry your ass in the back. You know what I mean? Like so it seems like you either have high ground where you're like holding like really strong points of interest, or if you're like holding like the right side of the map, if you don't like kill that guy right away and don't book it out of there, like you're gonna get flanked. And I love that, like, because personally I'm the one flanking, so like I'm like super cool with that because that's just how I like to play the game anyways. So
yeah, exactly.
Something I'm interested in with that too is just like I can't wait to play the game once the spawns get fixed. Like they're notably bad right now.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a beta, of course, so I'm not upset about it or anything. I'm just happy I get to play the game, really, honestly.
Yeah.
But the IW already knows the spawns are bad, and they've already said so on Twitter that they're working on it. They know it's a problem, so like I'm not worried at all. But something with that too, like with this game, something I like about it, like Brendan was saying, like this game really has a chance to be tactical and go more towards like that siege or like CS side, which I think has a lot of draw to it. Like I know the COD community is like huge because like everybody likes watching these clips and likes watching the flashy plays and stuff, which I think are still there. But I think it's gonna draw more of the audience in that loves watching Siege and loves watching CS. But not only that, I don't think it's Not only do I think it's gonna draw on those demographics, but I think it's also gonna make it more of a competitor with that too. Because like now not only does COD have those flashy plays now, but now it's gonna draw in that tactical audience of like I think this game even has potential to have like flashes and smokes that you practice. Like that reminds me of like CS. Like I don't know if it'll be that in depth yet. Like that maybe that's hoping for too much, but like just stuff like that where like utility is a huge deal. Like and I think it can be just based on how like strong flashes were and how strong stuns were and stuff. Like it's just exciting to me, just all the differences there are. And Adam pointed it out too. Like we are just talking the last day of the beta that we were playing, and I was just like, dude, this gun build is sick. And he was just like, dude, it's sick that you just said it's a gun build. Like, because that's actually a thing now. Like like I said it just naturally that like this gun build is sick. 'Cause I'm so used to playing RPGs. Like check out this build, like, you know, like.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you can say this gun build is cool because if you have 7 attachments to pick from and you can use 4, then you're probably using the same as everybody else. But if there's maybe 60 attachments on a gun, like the chance you run into somebody with the same setup is probably like 1 out. I mean, the percentage is like really small. So
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I honestly feel like my nervousness about this game is similar to what it was before the game came out. Like I think it has potential to turn into like gun builds, right? And like tactical play and stuff. But let's be honest here. High level Call of Duty
After
players like to bitch and they like to GA the shit out of stuff.
yeah.
So like I wouldn't be surprised if there's like huge pushes to be like if big play styles come out where it's like super tactical and these guys are used to playing run and gun Black Ops 4 for a year, that they're like, oh fuck smoke grenades, or they're like, oh screw this, you know, and then they start like GAing things. And I hope that
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Like I feel like this game's
So-
one of the games where like it has enough breadth and they've put enough depth into each weapon where it's like they're like almost like there's going to be counters, right? Like where it's like if
Yeah.
you know you play this, if this guy's playing this, or you know you swap out and the perks all have, you know, you got battle hardened, I think it is, that you know reduces flashes and stuff, and you still got flak jacket and EOD or whatever it's called. So like I feel
Yeah.
like it's all there to prevent that stuff, and I hope that
And
they
you can also
take
change your class mid game.
mid game.
Yeah, that's
Exactly,
sweet.
you
That
can
needs
you
to be
literally
taken out of competitive hands down though.
yeah, I think so too because it's not fair. Well, I mean, realistically, every competitive player has 10 preset classes. You know what I mean? What's the
Yeah.
difference between having 10 classes? Or if they change it mid game, they're just wait. You know, if they're not super fast on it, they waste 10 seconds. Like fuck it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like scenarios where it could be really cheesy almost. Like I
Yeah.
just feel like it's maybe
sure
I'm
there
against
can
it just because it hasn't been like that ever before.
Right.
Maybe I'm just like saying that because it's a change and I'm scared about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But with
It's
that
just,
being said, like at the end of the beta, something that I did lose a little bit of like faith in is like the whole gun build idea. Not because I think it's bad or anything, but like I don't think it's going to be as huge as we think it is.
No.
Even with 60 attachments, I think that a majority of them, maybe 70%, will be obsolete. I think there'll maybe be like 3 top builds per like top tier gun. Say that there's like 3 ARs that you like are the best, and like 2 SMGs that are the best. I think those 5 guns together will have like 3 builds each that are maybe 2 that are optimal. Just because like the M13 at level 30 that you and I were talking about, like there seemed to be like an optimal build for it. The only difference or variation being that like, oh, I'm gonna put a red dot sight instead of this barrel. Like
Right.
those were the differences. But like
Yeah.
the 3 other attachments or 4 other attachments were like just set in stone almost. It's like if you don't
Mhm.
use these, what are you doing? And the reason
Yeah.
I say that too is just because like so many attachments are just come off as obsolete immediately because like the M4, for example, like it's if you just shoot at a wall straight up, like it's predictive recoil in this game, like Counter-Strike. So the recoil is always going to be like up and to the right. So like if it's just mostly vertical, you're gonna use the vertical grip. Like there's no point in using a horizontal grip because one bullet goes to the right, when 28 go vertically. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
at that point, the horizontal grip is just obsolete and it's pointless almost.
But
Not that
there
that's a
are
huge
certain
deal, but,
guns that
like,
seemed almost like a
no,
diagonal
yeah,
and stuff.
no, some
So
guns,
then
some
because
guns are
so I could
horizontal, like,
see an argument where it's like, well, you know, you're gonna pick what recoil you want to control with your right stick, and then
Yeah.
what recoil you want to control with your grip, right? Because you realistically, so like you say you put on a vertical or you put on a horizontal grip, and it's got actually a little more vertical recoil beyond that horizontal grip, then you just control that vertical recoil with your actual aim, right? So I think that's the
but
big thing.
what I'm
but
saying though is I'm not saying the horizontal grip, it like in general, is obsolete because on
Yeah.
the M13 you should use a horizontal because if you shoot at
Yeah.
a wall, like most of the bullets are going to the right on that gun.
right.
They're not really hopping upwards. I'm just saying per gun that like with the grips and the grip styles that there's gonna be a best per gun. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, like at the M4, like say 28 of the shots are going up per shot, and like maybe 2 or 3 are going to the right. You're gonna correct 28 shots. You're not gonna correct 3 shots with an attachment if you're trying to be min maxing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I mean is like just some of a lot of it is preference. So you know, like I like all the scopes give you the same negatives. It's not like when you move up to ACOGs you're losing 3 times as much ADS speed that I know of. That's something else that we wanted to learn too, is that like when it says minus like ADS speed, is that like a set value? Like you and I were talking about that. Is that a set
Yeah.
value of like this is just a negative? and then a double negative is its own like set value, or is it like different per site? We don't know.
Yeah. That's
So
why,
that's
like,
something
personally, I
cool.
almost like Call of Duty's always gonna do like a little bit simplified stuff where they're like they don't show all the stats, right? They're not showing you like the damage per bullet on their guns
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like,
People make YouTube videos for that.
yeah, like Drifter. That's the reason
Yeah,
Drifter
yeah.
even existed. It's because
Yeah, Extended Base and
yeah,
Drifter. Yeah, they make some good videos.
yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel like I would almost want that, like a little more of that. I understand Call of Duty's not gonna go completely that direction, but the little like plus minus systems, like, okay, then give me a fucking key in game where
I
it's
think
like
it might
it's
be as
this
simple
or
as it
something like
is.
that. Yeah,
I honestly think it might be as simple as I agree with you. I want to believe
yeah,
there's a hidden value because there probably is, but at the same time, with like just the audience they aim for in general, like some of the attachments give you like two positives, like two
yeah.
positives like damage distance, and like I
Mhm.
think that is just two positive values that like so.
Right.
If you
But
have
what are
like
those
minus damage
values?
distance on a different attachment, it's two positives versus one negative. And like it's just that
Exactly.
kind of math. I think they
They're
want to
always
make
gonna
it
cater to the
to yeah,
weaker.
the
I
casual
guess
Yeah.
you could say
audience.
the
The
casual. Yeah.
weak.
I mean,
They cater
he
to the
calls him weak.
weak.
Calls him weak. I
The
mean that's
weaker.
Call of Duty though. I mean that think about how
Nah,
many
they will
players
though.
play that game that never touch like even ranked mode in the game, let alone competitive. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
is the bulk of the like 90%, 80% of the players are super casual. So it's definitely something that they've gotta like kind of a test towards. But I feel like with things like franchising and like this big competitive push and stuff, like this is when I want to see Call of Duty like get more specific. You know what I mean? Like if I'm playing League of Legends, I can go and find every base stat, every stat per level, every damage per stat, everything about every
Yeah.
character, every item, every the neutral monsters in the
Yeah.
game, how much damage, like every aspect of it, right? So like that's why I like was like for a long period of my time, like I mean I played League for about like 6 years and got super into it like strategically for that reason, because it's literally like metas change constantly and you have like this super in-depth view of what the game is and you can just constantly theory craft. And
Mhm.
I understand Call of Duty's only got like a 1 year stint, so there's not like the need really to put this level of depth into it so you can theory craft for 6 years on the same game, but I would like to see it a little bit more.
More like a long-term effect on it, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think if they do end up going away from the 1 year model, like way down the road, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon, then potentially the game sees things like that. But
Well, I mean, Sledgehammer like just absolutely bonked their like development with the next game. So like
yeah,
right now with how things are going, uh if you guys don't know, not you guys, but whoever's watching, is like as far as the cycle goes with COD, it's Infinity Ward, then Treyarch, then Sledgehammer. It's three developers that cycle through each year. Sledgehammer seems to be doing terribly on the most recent game. I don't know any of the details, but they had to actually stop development on their game, help out Treyarch with Black Ops 5, which Treyarch just came out with the game last year. So they've only had 2 years of development cycle at this point, or not even. No, they've had a year. And Sledgehammer is just becoming an assistant to like developer to Treyarch. And so that now Black Ops 5 is supposed to come out next year, when originally that was supposed to be Sledgehammer's game next year. Next year.
yeah.
So like, as far as not having it be a year-long cycle, it could be 2 years this year. I don't know. Like that's something we'll run into next summer, like when we get closer to that launch. I think that they'll probably pile a shit ton of resources into this next COD because Activision just
Yeah.
needs to have an annual release. But like at the same side, there's a little bit of optimism that this game could be a 2 year at least. But I totally, if I'm gonna be honest, I doubt that's gonna happen.
The thing is, bro,
But
is
I do know
Activision.
that Activision did confirm though that moving forward, all the titles coming out will be following this similar engine at least. So
Good, that's good. I would
that
love
they're
to.
not
I'd
gonna be
love to see
reverting.
like a maybe a quote unquote throwback Black Ops game on the new engine. Like that would be sick. I want to see
Yeah,
zombies on the new
like
engine.
the Cold War
Zombie,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, zombies on the new engine would be dope. I want to see a battle
Yeah.
royale on the new engine, which I saw some rumors potentially that pops up in Modern Warfare down the road or something. But I personally, I mean, we're a little off topic from MW, but I want to see a live service BR game transcend COD, like a live service BR, and then games come out every single year, and then maybe with those games you get bonuses towards the BR or something like that. But I think like
Yeah.
I think like battle royale games don't seem. I mean, maybe they do, but it doesn't seem like something I want to like throw in that yearly rotation vibe. It's like it's almost something that like seems like it's designed to be live service, you know. So like
And if
I would
they,
really like
man,
that.
if they made this game, even this game, a live service, and they like actually made that model committed to it, this
Yeah,
game would be like a long-term game. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not league level, but like I think 4 years. Like this game could. I mean, you have the new consoles coming out and everything, but like say the reason I kind of like don't want them to come out with a standalone BR is because say they do it in this universe of Modern Warfare and the next game comes out, whatever it is, and I'm just having way more fun with that. I don't want to stick around in this universe of COD. Like I want my BR to be kind of attached to what I'm doing, which is kind of cool. Like what I think is cool in this game that if they brought a BR would be cool is like they already said that like in campaign, even Spec Ops campaign multiplayer, like that all goes towards like one central rank. So like your multiplayer rank, you can rank up by playing campaign and beating it. You can rank up by playing Spec Ops. So like I think that's really cool to have an ecosystem that's all integrated like that. And it kind of feels a little bit detached if you have a BR that's separate.
yeah.
That's why I wish they could just I totally wish they could make this like a live service and
Go on like a Halo, go on like a Halo cycle. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, even
where
like Halo's
you
every
got
3 years,
3 to 5 years, you know,
Yeah.
that you just
Yeah.
release a new game. And
And
then
like if we're honest, like when a COD comes out, COD games, as much as I hate to say it, are like sports games. Like they are my sport game. I hate sports games, but
I do
then I
too.
give my friends shit that play sports games, but they give me shit for playing COD, and I accept it. Like I totally get it. Like yeah, you get new rosters and better graphics in Madden, and I get different maps and different guns. I'm still ADSing to shoot people. I'm still got the same game modes, which is just like having career mode and like make a player mode or whatever in
Right.
Madden or NBA. Like it's the exact same thing with different maps that will entertain me. If I don't like COD as a core, will entertain me for a month or two. And that's a lot of the players that buy COD. They play it for a month or two, and that's what entertains them because they're not there for the core game. Like even just hopping on Black Ops 4 when we started playing again this summer, like I get the core gameplay of COD and I like it. I didn't come back for the new maps or the new guns. It's because I missed that core gameplay. Like
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of that other stuff really.
That
So like
nostalgic feeling.
yeah, like honestly, like COD has something great. It's really capturing on this generation's need for like instant gratification of just like they really fucking hit the nail on the head of when you get kills, points are just popping up and just challenges are popping up.
or
And
you
kill
drop a
streaks
you
are
drop
here,
like an
they're
80 bomb, it
music.
feels
Yeah.
fucking great. Yeah,
You're
it's like
always unlocking new
It's just like a
items,
slot
like-
machine. You just see points
Exactly.
just boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? It
Exactly.
just like feels good, and that's
And then on top of that, they added
Yeah.
the battle pass and like all these
Yeah.
different cosmetic things that you can get now. Like it's just crazy. Like all the
Yeah,
instant
so if they
gratification.
made this game a live service, which they're kind of doing, but they're still going to do the annual cycle by the sounds of it. Like if they just added maps and guns throughout the years, like and people like this setting enough to stay here and like this engine enough to stay here, and they did that for 3 years, like all they would have to do is add like new operators that people buy or loot crates, which they already are going to have because they leaked, and just add more guns and maps, and this game could stay for more than a year, easy.
Oh yeah.
but the bottom line,
But also, I think the COD community is
Is
conditioned to hate the game. By the end
10%
of
of Activision's yearly revenue is from Call of Duty. I don't know what percentage it is, but like a lot. Like that company, I mean, I wouldn't say they rely on Call of Duty, but they fucking bank on it for sure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
and
if
I'm
that-
not gonna lie, getting into the Call of Duty community, I'm not a big fan of the COD community comparative to other competitive ones. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan. And like I was just saying, I think the COD community is honestly conditioned to hate this game or any COD game that comes out by the end of the year. Next year in August, they're gonna be trashing this game,
Yeah.
waiting for the next one.
They'll be
even
playing
if
some
it's
other
like
Call of Duty in
outside.
tournaments and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how good it is, and that's unfortunate. That's what I think kind of deters the game from going to a live service is because they know that these people that are playing the game, the demographic, like I said, it's more of an instant gratification kind of allure. They can't necessarily just chill on a game for 4 years like a Halo community could.
Yeah.
Or like the Siege community.
So to draw it back real quick, what was your guys? I think we all have a favorite game. Like, what do you guys think of the game modes in the beta?
TDM
What was your
trash.
favorite couple of game modes, and like what are you kind of wanting to be in the game as far as game modes that we didn't see yet?
Search.
Honestly, though, I would be totally fine with Cyber Attack instead of Search.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would be
like
fine
it
with
a
that.
lot. I like it a lot.
it.
I'm just skeptical.
Yeah.
I think
don't
I think
wanna-
it'll be really good if they adjust some of the times. So like anybody watching doesn't know, it's like Essentially, cyber attack is two sides of right now in the public beta is 6v6. There's a bomb in the middle. If you're familiar with sabotage, there's a bomb site at each side. So it's a neutral bomb. You have to plant at the other, but it's a 2-second plant, 2-second defuse. Anybody that dies can be picked up and revived. It takes about 5 seconds to revive anybody on your team.
Yeah,
so it's like, pretty cool because
it's like sabotage and search and rescue. If you ever played search and rescue in the old CODs, they had a baby, and that's what this game is.
It's cool because like it has that feeling of like if I die, I'm out. But you also so you can get punished really easily, but you can also turn stuff around like in a 1v2 or 1v3. If you're efficient with your movement and your routing, you can definitely pick so many people up and just turn it into a 5v3 within 20-25 seconds if you're good enough. I mean,
but another thing to add to that is like if you had this game mode in Black Ops 4, be fucking trash because there's no angles. There's no way you get revives. You just die every time because there's no nooks and crannies. There's no buildings. There's none of that. So like I think like the map design suits this game mode super well. I mean, search is gonna be super sick too, right? I'm down with either. And quite frankly, I'm excited to play a game where search and destroy is search and destroy.
Do you think they'll have search?
I don't know. It's gonna be search or cyber attack, but I think they're gonna have search. I just think that all these S&D star kids would lose their minds if search and destroy wasn't.
I'm not sure what they'll do just because like I know that they probably think cyber attack is the evolution of search and that it's probably better. And honestly, a few months from now, we could think it's better. It could be the better game mode.
I don't think I heard much negative.
It will never be the better game mode, even if it's better, just because search has always been there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They have a 10-year tradition.
It doesn't matter if it's actually it doesn't matter if it's actually better. It will never be better in people's minds just because search is like such a little. It's like a little child of theirs. Like
I mean, it's a sick game mode. You know, like search and destroy is like the classic. Classic thing. You know, CS:GO is literally made out of search and destroy. That's literally the whole game. You know, like So I don't know.
And that's why I want search too, is because like you were saying, that's why I want search is because I feel like this game is slow enough and it's tactical enough to work well in search like CS:GO does. Whereas other games like search can be a joke, and it's like search and destroy is not for the like certain games, but it's definitely worthwhile to try search in this game, I think, and I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah.
I really don't want a control game mode. Like I really
don't.
No,
really?
Oh no, dude, I'd rather
see that's so.
I love control.
As we're going into the next, I want control in this game. I think it'd play better than Black Ops.
Way better.
Maybe not. I don't know, but Black Ops is fast paced, so
like,
it's kind of sweet in that game. But
I guess the primary
it'd play completely different, but it'd still be good. Maybe even better.
The primary issue with it though is probably the same reason Hardpoint would suck.
Yeah, because you have to push hills.
Because you have to push hills, and you're gonna get fried off kids off head glitches the entire time.
Is going to just mount and chill.
So I could see that, but
based off of Black Ops 4, man, I just did not really. I mean, it was okay, but like I don't know, man. I'd rather have like a CTF or something like that, man.
CTF would be sick. I'd be down as fuck with some capture the flag.
CTF would be really good if they gave the flag carrier some like movement buff.
Bro, like Black Ops 1 CTF was my shit. I was like ranked top 10 for like 3 months in that game as CTF.
I played a lot of Black Ops.
Played so much CTF in that game. And I think when you can't do CTF in Black Ops 4, right? You're like motherfuckers just gonna slide cancel 4 times and be at the base. You know, like but like
you can get across some of those maps in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. But if you like whereas this game where it's like, if you sprint across this open space, you're fried. You know, like I think that's cool, and especially with all these little nooks and crannies, like you're like, all right, I'm gonna take the sewers, like this is where I'm going, I'm gonna be popping out here, make sure nobody's there, and then you just have like this relay system set up, and I think it could be great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's too with these game modes we're playing in the beta. Not only are they not like the gold, like the game's not gold yet. They're not technically like the finished game modes necessarily. But also when the game does come out, like all these game modes that are finished, they get changed so much for competitive as far as rule sets, whether it's plant times or like movement speed, carry like like with the flag carrier, if he moves faster. Brennan said maybe give him like a little bit more health, like 50% more health, anything with the fast time to kill. Like they can change so much. And like through interviews, I've heard them saying that they want to add all these tools for people to change their stuff if they want to. They didn't say they're gonna make shit crazy for as far as game modes for public games, but they want to give people the tools that want to do that. So it makes me really excited.
If you could like pick a buff that you wanted, that'd be insane. Like if you wanted to have like
the flag carrier buff,
like a flag,
would be sick
or something. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or like if you guys are like anyone that's watching, if you're OGs, you guys remember, and I know you guys will remember for sure. But a game mode I definitely miss is Demolition, and I said
Demolition was sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro,
But
so
only
much
for the pubs is the
Only
only
for
reason I want
pubs,
it, bro.
bro.
Because like that game was like, and Modern Warfare 2,
It
bro.
never ended.
Oh,
It was, like,
exactly. Yeah.
it
If
was
you had
so
if you had a
long.
full group of 6, you could get like 3 dudes over 100 kills. Like
Yeah.
it would be
I remember
sick.
playing
Yeah.
Demolition on High Rise. It was only one bomb site, right? Or was it 2 bomb sites that you had to
It
play?
was 2. It was still 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 2
I
bomb
remember
sites with
playing
1
on
neutral bomb.
standoff
right?
too, bro.
Yeah.
Or
No,
not
it
neutral
was
bomb. No, one
it was
bomb
attack.
but 2 sites.
Yeah, it was attack and defense still.
Yeah,
But
it was 1 bomb but 2 sites.
It's just respawn,
Yeah.
respawn, search and destroy, basically. Essentially what it
It
was.
was
Yeah.
so much fun, man.
Yeah, I
but
remember
Yeah,
that.
it was good. It was good, dude. Modern Warfare 3
I hope-
Demolition. Oh baby. Oh baby.
We
That
haven't
was
talked
the
about it
stuff.
yet, but headquarters was fucking awesome.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
yeah, it
The
was
spawns
cool.
were trash, which we've already talked
Yeah.
about. But I think once the spawns are fixed, gold. Absolute
Yeah,
gold.
Dude,
that
it'd
game
be
is
cool to
the
have-
headquarters has the potential to be much better than the hardpoint. Like just
Oh,
thought
that's what I was gonna say.
wise. Yeah.
That's what like me and Luke were able to like that one play that we did. I don't
Yeah.
even remember the
Yeah,
map,
on
but, like,
Gun
we
Runner or
held-
some
Yeah,
whatever
we
the match
literally
was.
held off that entire point by
The
ourselves.
warehouse. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
That's sweet.
something else. But like
That's something you
didn't
can
have
do
the
in this
ability-
game.
Yeah, you couldn't have done that in any of these past CODs.
Yeah.
Any of
No.
them.
Since
So like
Black Ops 4 because of the health pool, Black Ops 3
Exactly.
because of the movement, like
Yep.
those
Advanced
jetpacks, like,
Warfare, Infinite Warfare, and Black Ops 3, all because of
Yeah.
the movement. Yeah.
yeah, like
yeah,
I don't
just
know, man,
movement or health pools or both. Like
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I think that could definitely replace the hard point, and then like maybe throw a CTF in there, and then have sabotage. I think that could be a great solid lineup. Just like I don't know, man. I think it just
cyber
would
attack
be-
instead of sabotage.
oh,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it's called,
Yeah,
whatever.
CTF.
I would like to
headquarters,
see-
that's 3 game modes right there. You honestly don't really need more. They've never
Cyber,
needed more than that.
cyber attack, CTF, headquarters.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
perfect.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'll play that
It's like,
shit
What
all
if,
year.
what if there's no CTF in it and we're going off the game modes that they have right now?
Well, you
would we
can't.
pick?
You wouldn't run Dom, so we don't have enough.
It might be
yeah.
Dom.
There's
There
fuck
used,
that,
there used
bro.
to be Dom.
I'm
That'd be
not okay with that. I do not
That
want
would be
Dom.
great.
Dom
I do
used
not
to
want
actually
Dom.
be pretty good though. Like if you played it competitively, I'm not kidding. Like Dom 5v5 Dom and shit, and like Black Ops 1 was fun. Like I played a lot of competitive Black Ops 1, and that was pretty sweet.
But I
Yeah,
don't know. I
remember
feel like domination when
And
you're
2
playing
on
of.
3.
I mean, I guess there are 5
It's not.
people.
It's
there are
not. It's
5
pretty
people
brain
now.
dead. It's a pretty brain dead like game mode is comparative to.
I guess my
Cyber
take
Attack
on
or
it is
Headquarters, but
in
yeah.
previous Call of Duties I didn't like it because you have 4 players and 3 points, and it's like
Yeah.
you just stretch super thin if you're actually gonna take over maps. So
Yeah.
I whereas I'm much more on the mind of like here's
honest-
a point, let's set up for that together instead of like yo I'm gonna go fucking flank A while you guys try to get B, like stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I just had more fun with it than I did. I'm not saying it's necessarily like a great game mode for comp, but yeah, hopefully they do have CTF. I honestly think that there's a side of me that thinks they won't put CTF in the game just because of how fast you die. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
me
I
too.
like Brendan's idea and everything, and I think it would work, but I just feel like that's a hesitant.
But
like,
Black
that's a
Ops
hesitation
1
that they
Black
would
Ops
have.
1 had CTF competitive, and that time to kill was like the same as
That's
Modern
why
Warfare.
I brought it up.
Yeah.
Is because like
Yeah.
a bunch of other ones previously had it, and then this one they brought in control.
And
which was-
arguably, you have more
Right.
mobility in this game than you did in Black Ops 1.
exactly.
Right.
With a slide, and your mantle speeds are pretty quick. And
Yeah, man,
But-
and like they could do. Oh, dude, I just really hope they don't mess this up. I
Yeah.
just pray. they don't
Ruzia
mess
in the
this
chat
up.
agrees with the domination vibe. He's digging the dom. So,
Whatever,
but
whatever.
you guys are losers.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know
he
what you're
dropped that
talking about.
70 bomb or whatever it was.
Yeah, fucking make me look bad.
He's got
No,
some love.
but honestly, dude, like I'm excited for the game. I think regardless of what game modes they give us, it's gonna be good. Obviously, I have my slight preferences.
Yeah.
I think competitive. I'm just excited to play 5v5 competitive with the full game unlocked. Like I think it's gonna be so dope, especially. Like most Call of Duties, you have like this beginning month where everybody's kind of figuring out what's best and stuff. But I think it's going to be even way more ramped up on this COD. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it takes like a solid 5-6 months for people to figure out like truly
yeah.
like these are the way to play the game, So like I'm
And kind of going off like what you're just saying, like
yeah.
also we were talking about the also like angles and stuff, like on looking where on the map and stuff, just what pro players are gonna come up with, like, and what we're gonna be able to learn, just like all
Yeah.
that stuff that's gonna come out, bro. It's
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
that definitely goes
crazy.
hand in hand with like having the not 3-lane design too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like because these maps, like in they have so much shit all around. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
there's instead of just a box here or just like one singular simplistic box somewhere else, like there's a bunch of stuff hidden up. You can go prone on top of, or you can
like when
crouch
we
and
were
aim through. Like on a Hackney Yard in the warehouse, where's that top window?
yeah.
The van, you know how there's that van in the middle. Like you can go up to the driver's side door and aim through the doors to up to that window, just like as a quick
Yeah.
example of like
Yeah.
angles you can get.
Like when we played a BZ in our cities,
Yeah.
there was that inside the cave, there was that point, and at one point I pushed the outer cave and I got like a couple kills, and they must have called out because our city was, you know, those boxes right on the outer side of the cave that
Yeah,
sit there. There's like the
yeah.
ones on the head glitch, and then there's one against the wall. He
Yeah.
was on top of the ones
It's
against
like
the wall.
almost at the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was literally on top
It's like
of
a
it, and I was like,
fucking
"How did you do
slit
that?"
like this big, but you can see
Yeah.
the whole cave from like this
Oh, yeah.
slit.
And
Like
he was
yeah.
up there and he
Yeah.
rode me down. I was like, what? Like, that's insane. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys heard me say that, but I was like, oh my God, RCD's just killed me from a spot I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's the stuff that like is gonna happen. And that was like what the beta, and it was like a day in.
Yeah.
We already had that spot. Like,
Yeah, there's gonna be
I'm
some super
so
cool
excited.
stuff, and I honestly, it's even just a matter of like, okay, you get fried, you're getting shot from somewhere, right? And there's so many spots, like even if you're in a building or like a power position, where it's like, oh, if I loop around on these boxes and just like jump through, like there's a couple spots on Hackney Yard where you can jump and then climb up windows and stuff, like sick little, like I miss
Yeah, I
mini.
feel like I know like half of those.
Yeah, I
Like,
miss
you know,
I
there's a lot.
exactly
I feel like
exactly.
there's so many. I feel like I'm. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
It's
there's so many times
mini
I'd be
flanks.
spectating people and be like, "Holy shit, you can get on the roof from there!" Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like I miss mini flanks. Like mini flanks don't exist in Black Ops. The only idea of that is like, well, we'll run around this obstacle that's in the open, you know. But like in this game, there's genuinely like, I may only be 10 feet from you, but like did some whack ass mini flank shit that you have no idea that I'm even there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I
And
love
even-
that. I love that.
You know, like what changes that? Like I was saying earlier too, is like you know how like Hackney Yard, that's literally a 3-lane map, but they put 2 buildings in 2 of the lanes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
And those buildings have different hallways and paths.
Right.
That's what I was saying is like literally it's 3 lanes, but they have buildings now. So like that's
Yeah.
just like the extra Modern Warfare like thing. And they said they want like there to be points in each map that are like soft, like you know, like
Power
objectives. So,
positions.
like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
power positions, like
Yeah.
soft objectives of like we need to take this spot, but it's not part of the game at all. Like we
Yeah.
just need to take it so we have an advantage. So like that's why I have those build-ins and just those different vantage points for sure.
Cause yeah, if you control those buildings in Hackney Yard, bro, GG's.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. If you have both those buildings locked down, the game's over. Like
GG's, bro.
until I mean,
Like,
get
not
roof
over
control and-
until you get killed
I mean,
off of it. But
dude,
Yeah,
you literally
but you
you're
won't.
fighting here for kills, and then you can just look mid if anyone goes mid, and there's nothing they can do.
yeah,
So yeah, what do you guys think about the map design? Because I really
big fan.
I liked Hackney Yard, Gunrunner, Azir Cave was decent, but like I only liked,
Azir Cave
I
might
didn't-
be my
I didn't like the
least
whole
favorite
map.
6v6.
yeah, I didn't like the whole map. I liked parts of the map. Like I liked the whole cave area. Honestly, I think that was pretty well done. I think the whole like cliffside area is kind of shitty. Nobody goes there for any reason unless there's an OBJ there.
Yeah.
Like,
I personally like I
it reminds me of Afghan a bit.
all the 10v10 maps way
For
too
Modern Warfare
open
2.
for me.
Yeah.
Like way too open for me. Like if I was playing on the 10v10 maps, like is it like a Aruza City or some shit like that? I don't know, the one with like the huge field. And then you got a
Yeah,
big ass building like yeah, it's like almost like favela level in the middle.
Yeah.
And like I enjoyed playing in the middle when I'm playing subs and stuff, but even if I'm playing an assault rifle, like that field and shit is like screw that. Like I don't ever want to play that field, you know? So
What I liked my idea, of course, right? No, but like, what do you think of my idea? Like, if they took that map, cut the field out completely, like narrowed it in this way, and then had the open street in the middle, and like cut out both the spawns and made it like a 5v5 map.
I think it'd be cool, but I don't think
Yeah.
they'll do it. Like have they ever done
Right.
that in the past? Altered maps for smaller like game modes?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they have. I know a lot of FPS games do that. Just like I think Battlefield does it actually. They'll have like a
They do.
64s, and then they'll be like, "Oh, here's a 16-player TDM match, like team deathmatch." But like you're
Where it's, like,
playing
the
it, yeah,
main-
and they actually like wall
Right.
off shit.
Right.
Like, of, like-
right.
So say there's this huge ass like snow map, and there's a village in the middle that usually has a domination flag. They just give you that village for like TDM. So
Yep.
like I think they should do stuff like that if possible. And the
At the
reason
same
COD has
time,
never done the reason COD's never done that is because they've never had these larger maps necessarily. They have,
yeah,
but like not where to the point where it's a 32v32 map. Like because exactly with Battlefield they do that exact thing. Like in a 64 player map with this Modern Warfare game coming out, like they could take the little city out of the middle and just like have that be the zone, and it wouldn't even take work of like game designing walls that you can't walk outside. Just put boundaries out there, like in Black Ops 4, like out of bounds shit. Like if you're out there 4 seconds, you die.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think to be fair though, I think
because
it'd be cool, but
yeah,
I don't
there
know.
is
Like I think that they're good enough at making maps and they have a wide variety enough of ideas that they probably won't
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I
yeah.
see that. I just want like them to do that, just because I know they're putting more of these resources into these larger scale maps and larger scale variants. Whereas previously, when they didn't have those, they put all the resources into 5v5 maps or 6v6 maps because every single map was 6v6.
Right.
Now maybe 80-70% of the maps are for competitive by the design choice.
Aren't they doing 64 player ground war or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's next weekend starts, so we'll have big ass
Yeah.
maps for that. I think it's
Yeah,
only
they're
one
gonna
map
be-
we'll have
they're gonna-
access to.
They're doing Battlefield like size shit.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be choppers and stuff, but I believe there's tanks.
And that's where the tanks are gonna come in. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be like playing. What was Halo's big? Was it Ground War? Was it called Ground War?
Big team battle.
Big team battle, yeah.
Invasion?
Big team
Invasion?
battle, Halo 3, bro. Playing standoff. Give me some of that.
Yeah, back when Ground War was like 24 players or something.
Back
or 18.
back when having 10 versus 10 was actually like insane to
Massive.
think about.
Massive.
Yeah. Like it was like wait, there's 20 people in this game right now, bro? Like what the fuck? You know, like that was
Ground War
like
try and go
on
20
COD 4.
what's the
had,
Ground
like-
War on COD 4?
Yeah, it had like
Yeah.
16 people in it. It was
Yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
that was amazing back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was always
then-
hyped about, but I've never been a big vehicle guy, like in any games. I
neither.
don't like vehicles,
Yeah.
so I sometimes I lean away from those game modes because it turns into like tank battles and shit. But
Like I like vehicles
Playing
in
battles
games
are
that involve vehicles, like racing games, you know. But if I'm playing a shooter, I don't want to drive a vehicle.
yeah, I'm to the point where like
That's why I'm not playing Need for Speed. It's because I want to shoot guns. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to drive.
I was to the point where like there was times in the beta that I was like upset I got a chopper gunner. Cause I was just like I was just like, oh, I don't
right.
want to use this shit, bro. Like I want to
don't
keep
wanna
One
use
of
running.
those maps, it's just like people
Yeah.
funnel inside. I had like a couple, and people were just sitting inside.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
So annoying. And
Yeah,
people,
bro.
I'd get like 5-6 kills with a chopper gunner.
yeah.
At most.
I
Yeah.
swapped to the Pavlo thing.
But that's
after
a good
while.
thing. I
I
don't
did too,
want
man.
chopper gunners as shred. I was kind of happy that when I had a chopper
Yeah.
gunner, I wasn't 20
Like
kills with it.
MW3 or MW2, it was like if there's an AC-130 or a chopper gunner out, like you cannot walk outside, you can't
Yeah,
do
and
anything.
I feel like those guns. I feel like those were like hit scan almost. Whereas this game, you have to lead a ton.
you
with
do
the
have to
chopper
lead a
gunner.
ton, yeah. Or like AC-130 was like if you get that, you know, the big explosion one you could do.
Yeah.
Like if you angle that in a building, it would kill the entire building.
just
Like,
close your
like
eyes and
yeah. Like it was insane. So I'm
Shoot
glad
at
it's
someone
not
on the
that
map.
level, but I am glad
Yeah.
that they are like giving you like that throwback vibe. Like all the kill streaks are very similar. Like you got the Predator missile back, even though it sucks. You've
Harrier.
got Harrier, you've got Pavlo, you've got Chopper Gunner, you've got Nuke.
You got the
yeah.
What is it? The Juggernaut armor now too.
Yeah,
You
I
got
kind of
that?
curious. I never actually. It's not unlocked for us yet, so I'm curious. But it plays like fucking like
Next
hardcore.
weekend it will be.
Plays like hardcore metal music while you're in it. I saw that.
Yeah.
So it's like
That'd be sweet.
while you're like running around with a like
Shredding
minigun.
people.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
Metallica.
It's probably not like
They've got
doesn't-
the licensing to Metallica, so
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
that's probably why they skipped out on gun names.
They're like, we spent all this money to get Enter Sandman inside of the Juggernaut suit.
So hard to
Okay.
get Metallica that they just,
Yeah.
oh, we can't name. That's like the M14 was named the M14 in the alpha, and then they took it out for the beta.
I know, it's like
oh,
EDR or
that,
some
like,
shit
that
now.
budget number just goes down, 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 down.
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Oh, let's return this fucking trademark.
I'll take
It is
the
licensing.
gun names over Metallica. I can play my own Metallica.
Yeah.
Really?
Juggernaut music playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, fuck.
Really, yeah.
But
So-
no,
I'm super glad the mini map was halfway through like the day after the beta came
Yeah,
out.
they
I'm, like,
changed it,
Really
yeah.
excited about that.
yeah.
That was a needed change. So the mini map, for anybody watching, every single COD is at a mini map. If anybody shoots their gun, they show up on the map. This Call of Duty in the beta started with no mini map, and it was a huge issue because COD is all about knowing where your teammates are, where the spawns are, and with that, you have no awareness in this game. You'd be getting shot in the back and the sides. You don't know where to push. There'd be times you'd be in the middle of the map and not like you could push a direction. It could be the complete wrong direction because you just have no flow or no momentum of where anything's at.
Yeah.
So you'd push to your own spawn, get there and be like, yeah, there's nobody here. So I guess I gotta go to the other side. But
To
yeah,
be
after
fair,
the minimap was added, it's nice that you can just see your teammates now.
I
They
definitely
still
think
don't-
it's
they
needed.
still don't have red dots showing up unless you have a UAV.
I definitely think it's needed, but I do feel like okay, so I'm 100% on the train of we need a mini map. Like I'm definitely like just disclaimer, like I want one and I think it's necessary. But I do think that them throwing you into a beta with shit spawns and maps that you don't know without the mini map just made it even worse. Like it's literally like if I played Black Ops 4 right now without a mini map, it wouldn't be terrible because it's like I know all the maps, I know where people spawn, like the spawns are figured out so it's smooth, you know? Like
And once you have all the spawns and momentum figured out, like it's kind of second nature of like when you're killing people in Black Ops 4, the better you get, the less you look at the map because you kind of have you can just play it out in your head.
Yeah,
like
you know where they're
I killed this guy
spawning.
broken wall, I killed this guy mid, so now there's gonna be somebody over here.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of just like once you play a game enough, a COD game, any FPS, you can once you start getting kills in a flow of where you're at in the map and where you killed people, you can really just kind of play it out. Yeah.
You know how people play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how that all goes into effect in this COD because there's like we were saying earlier, there's a lot more angles to watch and stuff like that. So people are gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit harder to predict people. And
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's just a lot more spots they could.
It almost seems
What's
like if any Call of Duty is gonna be the Call of Duty to not have a mini map, it's not this one. You know, like it's like if you're gonna experiment with that shit in Black Ops 4, like okay, I understand it's like Black Ops 4 wasn't about the immersion. Like that's their argument is like the immersion is broken if you have a mini map, which I think is stupid. But I think like in Black Ops 4 you could get away with it. In this game, it's like you're saying, there's so many nooks and crannies. Like the spawns are currently kind of whack and the maps are a lot more convoluted and shit. Like I want to know where my teammates are. Like that's really the only reason why I want a mini map is I want to know where my team is so I can deduce where they probably are, you know? Like but no, man.
I think it is. I like that the mini map doesn't show red dots of people shooting. I think it's like an interesting change for this game. I don't know if I am for it or against it, but something just nitpicky. It is kind of redundant to have the mini map and a compass on your screen. It seemed like it looks like a hot fix that was made in the beta right now. You know, just as far as UI, it's cluttered because it's like if I was looking at a screenshot of this game and I didn't know anything, I'd be like, why is there a compass and a mini map?
Yeah,
like, that'd be my
and they put the red dots on the compass.
Yeah,
you know,
I know why it's there, and I because I played it and I understand.
Which is
like,
interesting.
If from a like a new perspective or somebody else who doesn't know why the mini map's just hot fixed in, like it looks strange to have both.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Like personally, I'd rather them go back to traditional, just put the red dots on the mini map, get rid of the compass altogether. But I mean, maybe it's just a different mechanic we get used to, like playing. You know, mini map is for teammate locations and compass is for
I checked my compass
shots.
maybe like 20 times tops.
I barely use my compass, bro.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I checked it.
I barely used it.
Like, I only checked it on accident though. Like whenever I saw like a huge dot that was like, and I just like, oh shit,
like oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like, oh okay, there's a guy here.
Which I mean, with you saying that too, like maybe it is a sense of like once we get used to it and it's like something we're used to using regularly, and like maybe it isn't bad to have the compass and the mini map. And just put the red dots on the compass. Because I will say one thing about the mini map getting red dots on it is you find their precise location, right? Like you know exactly where they are. Whereas when the compass gets a red dot, it's just a direction. So like I do think
what if they just did like I think they should just even go with like a halo radar. It'd be sick.
That would be sick, bro.
Because then you're not knowing precise location, but you're getting exact like shit of your teammates.
Like you know they're to your left.
Yeah, but Halo radar is always on. It's always pulsing.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like maybe shots, like make it larger than Halo's radius, but just show like shots on it, and teammates, and like make it not show any map details necessarily.
Right.
I think because that's like really the battle here is that like I want to know where my teammates are, so I'm not pushing my own spawn, and I want to know like I don't think you need to know when enemies shoot their guns in this game specifically too with how good the audio is. The footsteps were fixed from the alpha. The footsteps are amazing in this game. Maybe even need to be toned down a little bit. Just to be
you can hear projected. jumping and sliding and the doors opening and stuff
You
like
can
that. all really
hear
well.
a little bit more than I think you should. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that because I got killed for it. I think I got tons
It
of
was
kills
so
that I
loud.
shouldn't have, like because I would hear people.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but I
You
will
know,
say
I'd hear people
I
across a warehouse.
on
and
top
then
of it
be
though,
able to aim at a door, pre-aim a door, because I hear them walking in from across 50 yards, like
Yeah.
or
I
like
have
50
though
feet.
I have though like whipped on sounds, and then like the dude's a whole building away. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, like you
Yeah,
know what I mean. And then I
that's
get
why I
shot
think
in
they
the
need to be
back,
toned
and then
down
I get
too,
shot
yeah.
in the back because I whipped on this guy's footsteps. You know,
Exactly.
like that definitely happened to me a
Yeah.
lot.
And then you
But
don't hear someone's footsteps at some points.
yeah, but I think overall the sound. I mean,
It was very good.
my biggest upgrade for the game, I think, was the sound in this game is amazing. Like the sound
Oh,
is just
yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
guns,
so-
all the guns sound great. The grenades are back too, man. Like
They're
that
good,
is
yeah.
I know.
like that's big for me.
I got
Like
quite a few double or triple nades,
Yeah.
like with
Yeah.
frags.
yeah,
What do you guys feel
and
about Claymore?
fuck that.
Fuck
There won't be in
Claymores.
they won't be in competitive, and I'll be running flak jacket in pubs. So.
Exactly.
But I also
Exactly.
like
Don't
it feels
fucking-
good. Like the trajectory of frags feels like classic games. The cook times are nice and low, so you're not holding them in your hand for 10 fucking years before you're throwing
There's
them.
certain games you just
Yeah.
get a controller in your hand and you can just like you don't need like a little arc of you can just like it's like muscle
Yeah.
memory. If
Yeah,
you
like
played FPS
Apex,
games,
Apex shows the arc and stuff. Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty's got the arc down when it comes to this.
No,
new
like
game.
it just feels like when you're aiming, you're throwing it like it throws where it looks like it should throw.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
so it's pretty good. Like there's a few FPS games I've played in my life where it just like these nades feel like good. Like I just feel like I'm
Yeah.
throwing baseballs, just like
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It just feels like an attachment to
Call
yourself
of Duty's
almost.
always been one of
Yeah,
those.
I will say
Yeah.
too. One thing I noticed is I think they did a good job of like the way you throw out stuns and flashes. You can like really shoulder corners and they still go around the corner, right? So like a big
Yeah.
thing for me in some games is like if you want to throw like say you're getting shot at and you want to reach out with a stun, you like some games you're like in hella danger doing that because you gotta like step out, throw the stun, step back in. Whereas this game it literally feels like you're almost leaning, almost like you just
Yeah.
kind of whip around the corner and just chuck that bitch, and like you're not in a lot of danger, which I really like.
Dude,
the
I
angle.
love how they throw tacticals in this game too. You're not
Yeah.
like you're not pulling
the
anything
thing
and,
off
like,
and throwing it. It's
you're
just
like,
bam, just
you just
whip
you
that
just
bitch.
offhand
Yeah,
whip it,
yeah,
and I love that.
yeah.
Like you can be pushing a corner literally before you're at the corner, just toss and then just like
Yeah.
chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we're all just doing like tactical.
Wah,
like,
wah, 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 wah. Mute the stream, everybody.
Yeah, but no, it was good,
I think
dude. I liked
flashes
it a
are
lot.
really strong, but I'm not going to complain about it because I like that they're finally strong again and
Yeah.
like heavy use. They haven't had a use in like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah,
like,
and I think
Yeah,
last
I think
time
like you were saying,
if
they
the
might have
game's-
that tactical use.
and if the game's
Yeah,
if the game's gonna
exactly.
be
That's what-
tactical,
that's-
they have to be strong. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
That's why I was like upset a lot of times when I died to it, but I'm not gonna ever complain about it because I think
exactly.
they should be strong.
It's gonna be in the moment complaining.
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actual bad.
I will
On
say,
the other hand, claymores, I will always complain.
yeah,
those
always.
suck.
Yeah,
Those are horrible. And then they have C4 in this game too. Well, we'll
Do
see
they?
how that is. Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
it depends on what the throw out time of C4 is.
Exactly.
Because certain
We'll see
games, like Modern Warfare 3, C4 was sick. Because the throw time was super low. Like you could just, you're undercover, whip that bitch like you're throwing a tactical, and it kills like 3 people because it blows up so much.
I wonder
Yeah.
how crazy they get with C4 because I know in other games it was insane. Like you could just
Yeah.
toss it and blow it up whenever you want. But I feel like with
Yeah.
the realism they're striving for, they might
It's probably
like,
more like
maybe you can't
planning
blow it up until it plants and like
Yeah.
lands on something.
Like the
just-
double X detonate, like you could just blow up C4 like
Yeah.
instantly.
because they still
Yeah.
want the game to be COD, but they want it to be the most realistic COD that it can be. You know, like
Yeah.
obviously, if they wanted to make the most realistic shooter ever, it wouldn't be Call of Duty. They want it to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
most realistic Call of Duty, so they want to keep it grounded, and they want to please both sides, of course. Like,
but still the Call of Duty feel. though.
yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah.
mean, they I think even joking about the nade throw, like they consulted like Navy SEALs on how to like these animations and how they came up with them. They realized that like that is more efficient, you know. So like I think with animations in mind and just that stuff in mind, I don't know if they'll have people blowing up C4 just like
And,
by
like-
frisbeeing it at people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And, like the devs and the developers like actually went and shot the guns and stuff, so it'd have
Mhm.
more realistic feel. So that's why like the game just feels so good to me. I think.
Yeah, they did a
Because it
ton of
just is
research.
oh yeah, it's just so well made, dude. And I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
yeah, that's something I meant to say earlier is this game, it like the kills feel so like
Good.
full. They feel really full and crisp, like
Good.
compared to most shooters I've played. just like I don't know if it's the ragdolls or maybe just how the guns feel.
I think the
can't really
time
put
to
my finger
kill
on it.
is fucking perfect.
It is,
Absolutely
but like
perfect.
that's never really affected like how good a kill feels.
I think it almost
like,
I feel like for me it does a little bit. Like it feels like I'm actually not I don't want to say like it feels like
yeah,
I'm
I see what
shooting
you're
someone,
saying.
but it feels
Yeah.
like when I think he should die, he's
No,
dying.
no, I know
You
what you
know?
no, I know what you're
Like
saying.
that's like yeah.
I almost said that at one point too, and like when we were streaming, so I didn't want to sound bad, but like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this without it sounding bad or try to, but like it actually feels like you're shooting a person. Like just the
Yeah.
the weight that it has when you're putting bullets into like the ragdoll, like the just it feels really full. Like that's the
Yeah.
most I can like the kills feel heavy. Whereas in most CODs, it feels like you're probably shooting a paper target. Like that's the weight of the person you feel like through your
Yeah.
gun in COD usually is like you feel like you're just shredding through paper. In this game, it feels like you're dropping bodies. Like it feels like
you're actually hitting something.
you're doing damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that definitely has to go with the animations, like Brendan was saying, like and just like how heavy these guns feel. There's smoke coming off the barrel. There's like there's actual recoil.
Yeah, dude.
And even the muzzle flash gets in your way. Like I didn't ever experience it, but they literally have an attachment that reduces muzzle flash for people that have a problem with that, just because they have realistic muzzle flash now. Like
one thing that I found kind of interesting is the sniper setup. So we talked about it, right? Like we don't really know because we haven't seen all the attachments for the snipers and stuff, like how fast they're actually going to be. But I will say, like the big ass glare that they give snipers when they're scoped in, I don't know if I like it. And the reason why is like I think you
because
already
because
you're already handicapped as fuck if you have a sniper, right? So but literally like I could be all the way on the opposite side of the map. If you're scoped in, I can see that glare. Right. And so I think it maybe just needs to be tempered down a little bit, or maybe once we get the full game and snipers are a little more quick draw and stuff, then it doesn't matter.
My experience from that feature in other games is that happens to people when you're hard aimed for like 5 seconds. You know, like I don't know. I
feel like I noticed it. Like I'm gunning this kid, he peeks me on a barrel, and I can immediately see it. Like I can see it on his quick scope.
I think there needs to be adjustment to it if that's the case. But I think in games it's like places when it's like punishing to hard scopers that are just sitting
like you get like a 2-second delay and then the glare shows up or something.
I think that's when it's good. It's like when there's 3-4 seconds of like no glare, because that is actually how you should play the sniper if you're not a bitch.
Because I mean I want snipers to be good. Like I don't want them to be overpowered, but like I want them to have a place in competitive and a place, you know what I mean? So I feel like if that glare's there, like every time you just peek an angle, you see that glare, you're like, well, fuck that, I'm not going there, and you just leave. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's kind of how it is right now. And I don't know. Maybe it won't be that way when you have more quick draw, or maybe there's some attachments to help out.
Yeah, do something, either reduce the glare or increase the cooldown for it.
Like whatever that map right now is, the one with like the train spawn, like the freights and the rocks.
Gun runner. Yeah.
When I spawned one time on like not the train side, the other side, and I saw literally a guy sniping from train side. And I was gonna go push to that heady on the jump up, you know?
Yeah, where the broken wall is at. Yeah.
Yep. And I was gonna push to that, and I see this guy just like staring at me all the way across the map because of that glare.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now I'm going to the right
exactly,
side.
Yeah. It's to the point where I guess the bonus of that is that kids can't, especially right now with how bad the spawns are, kids can't just like hard scope a spawn and just keep bombing you. You know what I mean? But like
that was the one time.
If I'm being honest, I don't feel like that's usually a problem in Call of Duty. Like
no.
Like most people that are hard scoping like that don't have a good enough shot to kill me more than once. And then if they are hard scoping like that, especially in this game, they're subject to so many angles, right? Like there's so many flanks and stuff. So I definitely feel like snipers feel underwhelming 100%. I want something. I don't want it to be like a fucking MW2 quick scope, you know what I mean? Cuz you could just 1v5, but like I would like it to be a little more competitive, I guess.
Snipers do seem like they'll be good. I've seen some pretty good clips, some pretty nasty clips from the beta.
Yeah. Well, and one thing is
like the ADS speed. Like someone has attachments that like makes the ADS speed actually pretty good.
And you're back to like 95% of the time you're one shot killing, which is like a big deal.
And we also didn't have too many attachments in the beta, so I mean,
or the other snipers, like that semi-auto thing might be sick. Like
that's even what I was saying is like some of these guns, like you guys think sick. I think the M13's sick, but we only had 30 attachments. Like they might go up to 60. I mean, like, these guns might level up to 60. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I was saying like the MP5 and M13 might be the best at level 30, but maybe at level 60, the M4 and the MP7 are the best. Like
Exactly.
they just
Yeah.
get better later. They get the better attachments later in their life cycle, and that's totally
Yeah,
possible.
and we also used like what 3 submachine guns out of the 5 or 6, 2 assault rifles out of the 7 or 8 of.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
there's
interchangeable
so
stuff. You
many.
can make the AK
Exactly.
74U. You can make the AUG an assault rifle. So I mean, they go back and
So
forth.
many things. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many things that we're gonna be able to experiment, and there's so many different directions they can take this game.
And
Yeah.
Overkill's back, and it feels good as fuck. It
Exactly.
feels really good.
Yep.
Like the
Yeah.
idea that your attachments are linked to your gun instead of linked to your classes lets you overkill with 2 guns with 5 attachments, which is like sick. I feel like 3 out of 5 players might be running overkill in competitive. Like I would not be surprised at all. Especially with like some of the perk, like the perks seem underwhelming compared to the guns.
Adam.
I'm back. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Jeez, sorry
Yeah.
guys. The
Perks are underwhelming.
perks seem underwhelming compared to the gun attachments. So it seems like Overkill is just objectively that much stronger. Like because you're just like if I can run around with a fully rigged MP5 and a rigged sniper rifle, and then I have that like I think it's amped that lets you switch faster. I mean your switch time is instant. Like you can literally be like in a scope, someone shoots you in the side, you can switch and almost turn on them. Like it's super fast. So I definitely think it'll have a really good place. And if that's the place that it fits, then maybe sniper rifles being super slow and shit like that is better. Because I don't want a kid like running a gun and quick scopes 3 of my teammates, whips out an MP5 with a full clip, and then kills the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't feel good. Like you don't want that shit.
Yeah, dude, it's We'll see though, because I mean, granted, we were in the beta stage, so this is all subject to get changed. So.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as the early access beta, when the game's still not out for a little over a month, I felt pretty good about it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the game felt really good.
I'm confident.
Like the kills felt really good and heavy. The game like after the spawns get fixed, headquarters will be an awesome addition to bring back a throwback.
Yeah, for sure.
Be in the game. I think the customization's awesome, and I think they're going enough new routes that like they're doing a lot of familiar stuff, but changing it enough to make it feel really new.
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting for sure. Is that definitely for just the game in general, but also for the competitive season coming up, and can't wait to see what the game does and what franchising does for the community as a whole.
Yeah, I will say one quick thing I wouldn't mind talking about really fast while we're on the subject, and then we can kind of get close to wrapping it up because I know we're about an hour right now. But I saw some stuff where franchises so there's been multiple amateur event holders that have had franchises that reside within the city that they're holding amateur events send them like cease and desist letters to cancel their events. So like there's one in I think it was Chicago and then Seattle, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I could definitely be wrong. But I want to say it was those 2 cities where the COD teams that are now residing in there for the franchise, like, you know, somebody had an event going on at some esports bar where they were going to do like a LAN with like 100 players, and they straight up sent them like a law-abiding cease and desist letter that was like, if you do this, we're taking you to court.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So
that's like saying in Chicago, since there you can't have any basketball.
Yeah, and I don't know how legitimate it is, right? Like I don't know if the amateur people running it just went ahead and just said fuck it, we're not going to deal with this because they can't afford lawyers and shit. You know what I mean? Like they're passion projects, you know.
If they're gonna treat it like a franchise, then treat it like a franchise. If you're gonna try and make this a sport, then make it something that like what the fuck? How are you gonna get? How are you gonna get people watching if they can't even do this like on their own?
Yeah. No, like, I think what
players like us that are trying to grow and get big.
Yeah, you're never like all. You're never what happens after all these rosters in the pro league are just gone? Like these guys retire. Like how are you gonna get new players if you?
Well, I think Activision just hasn't announced their path to pro yet. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they have their own ideas for leagues or like an amateur scene or a academy league, the way like League of Legends does it or something. Like I think they probably have plans for something like that, and so that's probably where this is coming from. But at the same time, I think amateur or tournament organizers that don't reside within like the same state lines as any of the pro teams aren't going to have any problems. And I don't think and quite frankly I don't know if all the pro teams are going to be like that. I don't know if it was like Chicago COD did this or if it was like Activision that told Chicago COD like deal with this shit. So I think it depends, but if that's the case, that's fucked. It's super fucked. And I don't think, like, the bottom line is amateur COD thrives so hardcore, and there's so many people like dedicated to it that regardless of what those franchise teams do, there's still going to be a scene. It's just a matter of how much it's actually going to damage the scene.
Gonna have some secret underground tournaments.
Yeah, or like the online stuff's still going to be going hard, and
yeah. Just it's a matter of how much support it gets from the actual Call of Duty.
And to be fair, if they do take that route, I feel like the community is going to fry them nonstop. So it'll probably turn into them being like, all right, we'll let you do it. You know, like
we're in the time of boycotts right now with just review bombs and all.
Activision finna get canceled.
Yeah, they'll get trashed if they do that.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes. Personally, I think franchising is just going to make more opportunities for the amateur scene. It's just probably not going to be the same landscape as it is now. But it's interesting to see like franchise teams actually do shit like that, and like curious to see if that's like becomes a regular thing, if it was just like a fluke or what. But
we'll see.
We'll see, man. But you guys, you got any other topics and shit you boys want to talk about real quick before we do some plugs?
I just want to bring up real quick. What do you guys feel about the Hex and Energy thing, dude?
I love it, bro. I love it. And Energy is a pretty grassroots org.
They just got a huge fan base.
Oh my god! Yeah. Did you see the day they announced that Optic Gaming's Twitter lost 100,000 followers within 24 hours?
Good.
100,000. Think about that. That's just the active people that consciously thought like, "Fuck them, I'm gonna go and follow them."
Yeah.
You know. So think about how many people didn't think that, didn't actually physically go and follow them. Like there's
within the next week or
easily
2 weeks,
500,000 to 1 million people that won't follow Optic anymore just from that announcement, just from the announcement of him going to Energy.
I just don't know like why you would ever like. Not only do these people not know that Hex, like Immortals or whoever, like not know that Hex is like actually the brainchild and the heart of Optic. Like I can't wrap my mind around the fact like, okay, I get if you don't understand esports, but do not start a business in esports. Do not put money into esports if you don't get it, if you don't understand that shit.
But like, I think we underestimate that.
I know, but if I'm ever gonna put money somewhere, if I'm gonna like doing that, maybe it's because I'm not a millionaire, I'm not an investor like these guys are. They invest in multiple things a day, so maybe it's a whole different story. But like, if you're gonna do that, then you gotta understand that shit. Like,
but I think
if I'm gonna go invest in like some laundry business, like I'm gonna do some reading, some research.
I'm gonna hire the best laundry expert that I fucking can find.
You know what I mean? I don't know shit about like selling washers or like if you're gonna do that with esports, you gotta understand that shit inside and out. Otherwise, you're not gonna be successful.
Fuck Jay. No, just kidding. No. But honestly, bro, like I just feel like we underestimate how people just they see the news and they see this industry blowing up and shit, and they just go, I'd really like to throw some money at that. So whatever business advisor they have them explore it. And that person, bro, like it's honestly the case where like if you are not involved in esports, the idea of how the ecosystem works is abstract as fuck. I mean, there's no industry that is blown up the way that this has in the same type of space that this has. Like it's literally this, like you were talking about the cancel culture and stuff like that. Like if you don't do it right and you're not not discreet, but like open book about everything that you're doing and communicating with your fans and like branding yourself and transparent. Thank you. If you don't go about it in a transparent way, like esports fans will bail. Like they will just straight up not watch your shit. They're not gonna buy your stuff. And if they're not, and literally that's all your income. If they're not watching and they're not buying, you're not making any fucking money. So it's like
that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Literally when we started, like I was saying, I'm scared that I'm gonna get trapped in Borderlands. Like, do you know how easy it would be to leave Call of Duty if they messed it up and go play Borderlands?
Yeah, exactly. Like I do think that like there's basically, especially with Call of Duty, I mean, every esports system.
That's something to be said though too, Brendan, is like Call of Duty forever and Borderlands isn't forever, and that's why esports is awesome. It's because like you're not always gonna be playing Call of Duty, you're not always gonna be playing Borderlands, and that's why I love.
But I think that's what people don't understand. People don't understand that. They don't understand that like there's like 3 titles that are staples that are probably gonna stick around for a little while. You could look at like CS:GO, Dota, and League of Legends are probably the best examples. 2K, yes, but those are on like a yearly thing, and they kind of rely on people's fandom for sports.
You're talking about like one-time release.
Right. So I guess more so like 2K and Madden and stuff thrives because people love sports. But like everything else thrives because they just love video games, right? Like I don't think 2K players, most 2K players don't come at it from the angle, "Oh, I love games, I'm trying a new game." They're usually like, "I love basketball and I'm going to come play basketball game," right? Whereas like honestly, people just don't realize that, especially Call of Duty. Like the scene is the people in the scene. That's it. That's all the scene was. The scene was built off. They have some of the biggest esports celebrities, and they're one of the I mean, honestly, they're one of the smaller esports in the world. Like you can look at the Twitter followings of Call of Duty players, and they shit on like League of Legends players and stuff. And it's because these guys have had this open book. I mean, there's lots of drama and lots of talk stuff, but they're very transparent and open with the community. And the orgs like Hector and Optic and FaZe Clan and all these guys have done an awesome job just marketing personalities. And if you fuck those personalities, you're not gonna make it. I mean, you're not gonna make it.
Like, yeah, definitely nobody ever really follows the team necessarily. They follow the roots or the people that make up that team.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like even if Hector was still owning Optic, even if he stayed with Optic, and that like Scump, Karma, Crim Six left, Formal, they all left, I probably wouldn't watch him nearly as much anymore. Like Hex would be making vlogs with these new kids that like I don't give a fuck about. Like if like Scump and these guys aren't there anymore, like I don't really care nearly as much. Obviously, I still want to support Hex, like if he was still at Optic doing that with new players, but like those players being gone totally makes it not Optic anymore as well. So like as much Hex has put all of it into it, he's like the biggest part of it, obviously, but like it's also the players too. And
yeah, that's what I said to Lucas like when we were coming home. I was like, dude, honestly, like when we were watching that video, I was like, honestly, bro, like I'm trying to look at it as like, yeah, Optic is gone, but like we still have Scump and all the Crim and Karma,
which is Optic. You know, you still have Optic. You just don't have the OG logo. I mean, that's all you're missing.
But like you still have like we can still support those players. They're still here.
Yeah, which is I think that's what makes.
Or
esports,
we can smash them.
Yeah, take their jobs. Honestly though, like honestly, bro, that's why esports is so sick though, and that's what people don't understand is that like you can't. Okay, you go to Cleveland, the Browns suck ass. Right? They've like they're getting better now with like Baker Mayfield and everything, but traditionally they've sucked ass. But people love the Browns, bro. They sell out stadiums still. They still sell out stadiums regardless of who's there, you know, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But if in esports, the bottom line is like if you don't have personalities to build your team brand, you're not a team. You're not gonna make it. I mean, you can be good at like amateur level and like, you know, make livings and stuff like that, but you're not gonna be like a worldwide brand the way that like Optic and FaZe and stuff have become. So like I think that it really isn't out of touch. Like a lot of the money and a lot of the support coming in. Not everyone. I mean, certain companies like Rocket Mortgage with 100 Thieves and like a lot of these investments, like they straight up just they had exactly. They had faith in the orgs to know the space and to go forward, and they just provided the capital. Whereas people like Infinite Esports are like, well, we want to run everything, even though we've never run this shit ever. So we're just gonna buy it and burn it to the ground. Like that.
They just wanted to come in and make content, and they're like,
yeah. Well, what is that? What is make content? You're just gonna throw videos out? Like the bottom line is, as soon as Hitch wasn't working on that shit, the views dropped 60%. Like no, like you know what I mean? Like
just because I knew he wasn't working on it.
Because Hitch would tweet out like, oh, I'm no longer working on Optic stuff.
It goes back to the personalities and the players. It's not even necessarily because the new content was bad. It was because they knew this person that they wanted working on it wasn't working on it, like that they followed for years, that they've grown to love. And like something going back with
the Optic tripod, like
literally
like just like personalities is what we watched it. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah. Oh no, you're good. Like it was going back a little bit to like just like how gaming is such a different like ecosystem or just environment. Is just like what I think is cool is that with the games changing and stuff too, is that a lot of these players can become like quote unquote triathletes, or you know what I mean, like Formal, for example, he was a Halo pro, now he's a championship COD pro. Like the fact that can happen even is so cool, because like you don't see LeBron going and being a wide receiver in the NFL and bringing his NBA fan base over to the NFL and like having those things gel and mix. Like usually if you're only an NFL fan, you're not really gonna fuck with the only NBA
there's literally like a handful
fans.
of examples, like Michael Jordan and like who was the wide receiver?
I know what you mean, but like the thing
thing
that's so cool about that is that like these guys that are good at games, these like Counter-Strike players, this and this and this, like whatever, like they're usually good at any game they play because they're just a gamer,
Yeah.
they're just a competitor, and that's what like makes this it's really cool. It's like it
Like
does
Shroud.
esports isn't gonna die. Yeah, Shroud, he doesn't compete anymore. He's still like huge.
He's top
It doesn't
1%
like,
every game.
it doesn't matter where you go. Like Michael Jordan retired, everybody loved him for what he did. He was when he was there,
Yeah.
but now what's he doing? Sponsored by like underwear or some shit? Like who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah.
Like or any golfs. Like what I think is cool is that like esports isn't going to die and these players aren't going to die. Hex isn't going to die. Like it's not
No.
going anywhere. It's only going to grow, and that's like what's so cool and exciting. So
I think like the stock of esports players is okay. Like obviously the money's getting pretty close to being there, but obviously the money isn't quite at the level of sports. Like not even close yet, right?
No.
But the
It just
bottom
doesn't
line
have
is
it doesn't need a lot of time.
yeah, it hasn't. It's not old enough yet. But the stock of these players is so much higher, right? Because it's like if I pick up a kid fresh out of college to join my football team, I've got probably 7 to 10 years that even if he's with me the entire time, that this guy is going to be valuable to the team. Realistically, after he's retired, even if he was a baller ass social media giant, he's probably going to fall off a cliff when he's no longer playing sports, right? Whereas like
just only endorsements,
yeah,
no value to that team
to that team anymore. Whereas like Formal, he could be 45 and still streaming, and he's still going to provide a shitload of value to any organization he's under. Because all these players, like in 10 years, I bet you Formal's still streaming. Even if he's not playing pro, he's streaming some shooter, and he's still pulling 2 to 10,000 people all the time. And it's because of his time playing games. And like guys like Shrouder are a good example of that. Like there's just like this level of like, I'm invested. Like I think it needs to be taken as like, I'm investing in this person for the foreseeable future. Obviously people like bounce around and stuff like that, but like people like Scump, if like Optic had kept Scump and not fucked up the whole ecosystem there, like Scump's the kind of guy that you can build a company around that dude. Like literally just keep him in the company for 20 years and that's a company for 20 years because that guy exists, you know, like
this is a whole different topic for a different time, but I think orgs really need to find a way or do better of managing how they keep streamers or content providers, because when any of these guys blow up and do well enough for themselves, they don't need that org anymore.
Like Tfue and shit. They're
like, get off of me. I don't want you guys taking my money. Like, I don't need your advertisement or your brand recognition anymore. Like, you need mine. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that in the future, orgs will find a better way to keep those players and just have better incentives that are good for both parties.
I think
that'll be interesting to see too, because like Shroud, he streamed for C9 for like I don't know how long, 6 months, maybe a year after he retired, and then he broke off because he didn't need them. Exactly, you don't need them anymore. Why would you? You're making millions. Like so I think once orgs find good ways to keep players, it'll be pretty cool to have like these players retire from these orgs and have them just be like kind of like a legend within that organization. Like, you know, like Scump with Optic, if that would have worked out, like he could have been like Optic Scump for his whole, you know, like for his whole life, you know what I mean though, like for his whole life, like the rest of the time he's streaming under Optic, and like just and whereas like that Optic group almost just becomes a content group of like Twitch streamers, whereas Optic's just an example, but like whereas Optic's not taking any cuts from them at all, other than the fact that it's a streamer group of 10 guys that all have Optic in front of their name, and that's advertisement enough, that's revenue enough, they don't need to take shit. And I think that's how these orgs can really keep players from leaving after they retire and become successful.
And real quick on that before we move on, like I do feel like some players and like personalities, like, so I think the way orgs bring players in isn't terrible. I mean, I think more organizations need to see themselves as talent agencies and less like companies with employees. Like that's definitely the route they need to go. And it's more of like you have your brand, you have your career, and we'll come alongside you versus like we're going to envelop you into phase. And then when you just outgrow phase, we're going to have some nasty breakup. You know what I mean? Like, so I think
like the thought process of like, you're an entrepreneur, I'll help give you some tools to make that easier for you.
Exactly. Like you're joining my circle. Like you're a part of my entrepreneur circle, and we've been in this business for a while, so let's get you fucking rolling. And then if you make it, you know, we can figure, like you could figure that out in the beginning kind of thing, but it's not like a percentage based setup. Like, because if you have that, it turns into like, well, Tfue brought down 100 million last year and FaZe made 30 off of him or something. You know, those aren't the numbers, but like ideas like that is when you start getting situations like Tfue and FaZe and stuff like that. But I think, I don't know. I think it is a different topic, but I think it's
a big one.
It's a big ass one. Yeah. But I think it's interesting. And I think think Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty will survive all this shit. I think because of the personalities, right? Like people are gonna be a little off put in the beginning with all these players on teams that they maybe didn't support in the past or something like that. But I think by the end of Modern Warfare, as long as the big names are still involved and there's not like some catastrophic event, like I think COD will be in a better spot for it. It's just it's just gonna be a rough patch, I think, for the next year or so. But
We'll see how
I'm
that
interested
goes.
to see how crossplay goes next weekend.
dude, I'm pumped. Dude, that in itself is gonna be huge, just for a number of players on
I
servers.
might fuck
and-
around on PC for an hour or two
Yeah, I don't know.
to see.
Maybe it's good. Probably is fun. Probably is good.
Yeah.
I'm a joystick
it's
guy
fun.
from here on out for
Yeah,
shooters,
100%.
except for like first
No,
person.
I'd use my controller. I just want to run it like crazy.
Oh, on your desktop? Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Makes sense. But all right, cool. Any quick thoughts or anything, and then we can kind of wrap up.
Nah, man.
Pretty much this week, not counting the beta coming up in the weekend, it's gonna be like Borderlands. Until the game launches, until Modern Warfare launches. I mean, well, I don't think we'll only be playing Borderlands, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm up to this week, and I think Adam is. I know Brendan is, and then we're just off season.
I'm thinking the
Off-season.
next month will probably be some intermittent streams, and then when betas are live, we'll obviously be hitting that hard for Modern Warfare betas. And then our plan is we're gonna have a decent, nice stream setup on LAN with 4 of us come release weekend, and so there should be some really cool content coming out of us from there. And honestly, like we've talked about this the last couple podcasts towards the end, but I think the Wavelength stuff's really going to start ramping up for us here over the next few weeks. We got a lot of plans and stuff, and Brendan will be around more.
The reason it's a little bit hard too, because we're basing all plans and our like manifest itinerary over this game coming out, and the game's not out yet. So we're trying to do a bunch of like pre stuff for it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when it makes it hard to like pump out stuff and try and that's why we're doing random shit like playing Remnant or Minecraft or whatever too, is just to fill the time, because we are beginning to continuously not like Black Ops 4 more and more the more we play the new game. So
but yeah, we're gonna have some super sweet stream setups. This guy's on my stream right now, but we should have a separate Wavelength stream set up by that weekend as well, so I'll make sure I plug all that shit. If you're watching, the Twitter handles for all 3 of us are up at the top if you want to check any of us out. Brendan, appreciate you coming on, my guy. We'll have to get Luke on here pretty soon as well. Maybe we'll do a kind of in-person podcast with a table set up and stuff while you guys are down.
Around the table. Around the bar.
Around the bar, yeah. But no, I'm pumped, bro. Obviously we don't want to talk about it too much because everybody thinks they're nasty at Call of Duty, but I think we're gonna do pretty well. And I'm super excited. Hopefully we'll have a 5th face in here we can introduce here pretty soon as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man. Other than that, appreciate you guys stopping in and watching. And
absolutely
give her a week.
Thank
and
you guys.
We'll
Thank
be
you
back.
for watching. We'll see you guys next Monday.
Next Monday it is.
Bright and early at 6 p.m.
Bright and early at 6 p.m. Yeah. But all right, keep it on Twitters. We'll keep it updated. But peace out, dudes. Thanks.
Later.